Hello, Savilla Morgan here. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to today's show. Before we get started, I would like to thank my sponsors and my supporters. A great big thank you to Morgan Air Conditioning, sales, service, and installation, proudly serving Tampa, Florida, and the surrounding areas. For assistance with your air conditioning needs, call Morgan Air at 813-500-7765. That's 813-500-7765. Thank you so much, Morgan Air, for seeing the vision and being a part of it. It is appreciated. Next, I would like to thank Alba Digital Media, audio production, web hosting, and web design. Alba Digital Media created my website and they produce my podcast. Visit Alba Digital Media at www.albadigitalmedia.com for assistance with media and production needs. That's www.albadigitalmedia.com. Thank you so much for Alba Digital Media for making me look good and sound good. I would also like to thank the owner of Edinburgh Dusters for assisting me with quality graphic assistance for my website and other social media content. It is greatly appreciated. Finally, I would like to thank the musical duo Devoted for creating my theme music. Contact Devoted at devotedministries@gmail.com for your music needs. That's devotedministries@gmail.com. Thank you so much, Devoted, for the beautiful music. I absolutely love it, and I'm sure the listeners do as well. Thank you for all your great work. If you would like information on becoming a one-time or ongoing sponsor, feel free to contact me at sevilla@sevillamorgan.com. That's sevilla@sevillamorgan.com. And for more information on my sponsors and supporters, go to my website, www.childlessnotbychoice.net. That's www.childlessnotbychoice.net. Scroll down to the very bottom, and you will see the links to my sponsors and supporters. Thanks again for listening, and now on to the show. Well, hello there, everyone. Savilla Morgan here. Welcome back to 21st Century Hannah, where I speak to the broken hearts of childless, not by choice women and men around the world. Remember, I'm spreading the great news that we can live a joyful, relevant, and fulfilled life, regardless of the fact that we did not have children. And that's childless, not by choice. And so I wanted to talk to you from a different space today. I'm using a totally different setup, and I'm recording at an absolutely different time of the day. Usually I record around midnight, between midnight and 2 in the morning, because to me, and it still is that way, but to me, that's the quietest time of the day. For obvious and maybe not so obvious reasons, there's less ambient noise, less distractions, but there's some type of a quiet that comes over, I think, the whole your world, wherever you are at between 12 and 2 o'clock in the morning, that there's a different type of quiet. I'm not sure I know quite how to explain it, but it's a totally different type of quiet than any other time of the day. And so I love to record at that time of day, but I thought I would record in the middle of the day right now. It's nice and cool outside. Cool for us here in Central Florida is in the 80s instead of the 90s and hundreds. So it's cooled down considerably for us. And so I'm in my office. My door is open. I'm looking out into sun-washed, just the day. You know, it's beautiful. Looking at trees, looking at the sun. I can even catch a little glimpse of my vehicle from where I'm sitting. And so it's a totally different time of the day. It's still quiet because I live in a quiet area, thank God. I love peace and quiet. And so I do love my ambient noises, but peace and quiet is where I get things done. Like my recordings and my writing and my blogging and all of that great, good, wonderful stuff. So I wanted to stop by and see how this goes and hope I don't perturb my podcast producer too much. He always ends up making me sound good no matter what I try to do. So hopefully he doesn't have too much trouble with this setup. But it sounds good to me so far. We'll see how the end product works out. So today, I today wanted to talk about refrigerator magnets. And I know some of you are like, refrigerator magnets? What does that have to do with being childless not by choice? What does that have to do with anything? But the fridge, the refrigerator, where on the inside we have one side of it keeping things frozen. On the other side, we have that area of the fridge keeping things cool. And so the things that would spoil if they were not in the refrigerator are kept as fresh as possible for as long as possible. That's what a refrigerator does, right? But most of us, those of us who are able to have a refrigerator, because remember, I know I'm speaking to women all around the world who are living in different situations. And so I'm never, not thinking about the fact that I'm speaking on a global level. But for many of us, we are able to maintain a refrigerator, and many of us keep things, of course, in the refrigerator, but many of us, I would venture to say, keep a lot of things on the refrigerator, attached to the refrigerator, in the form of magnetized items, whether it's a magnetized business card that you just keep on the fridge in case you need ready access to the phone number, or magnets of places you've been, which is really what this is all about. I was looking at my refrigerator magnets the other day, and my fridge is almost completely covered, at least on the front end, with magnets. I mean, magnets talking about don't bother me before I've had my coffee. Magnets showing anyone who cares to look that I've been to this particular city or that particular country. And basically, it's a way to show off. It shows off who you know because you have magnetized pictures of family and friends, where you've been, as I mentioned before, the magnetized maps or pictures of countries and cities and states that you've visited, and just informational magnets like the business cards or companies that you deal with and interact with on a regular basis. All of that is on the fridge, available for you to see and for anyone else to see. So I got to looking at the refrigerator magnets the other day, and it was probably because I had just added a new magnet. You see, recently I had the great opportunity to go to Switzerland. I never thought I would go to Switzerland, at least not anytime soon. I just did not have it in my mind to go. But a family member invited me, all expenses paid, thank the Lord, and I could not pass that up. Who would do that? So I packed my bags with my cold weather sweaters and coats and all of that, and I got on that plane for that combined 12-hour journey each way. It took us 3 hours to fly from Florida up to Virginia, and then from Virginia over to Switzerland. It's pretty awesome. And so as we were there enjoying our week, we were buying things for friends, postcards, refrigerator magnets, just things to let people know we were there and that we thought about them while we were there. And so I bought myself a magnet. And I was looking at the magnet and thinking, wow, I actually had the opportunity to go to Switzerland, and I actually spent a week there. And I'm thinking that is the most awesome thing. I'd never even had that thought in my mind. And then I got to thinking, a lot of times we're busy planning our lives, planning what we want to do next and when it will happen, when we'll have enough money to do this or do that. And then we look at our refrigerator magnets and I'm sure many of us are like this. We look and see the places we've been, though. And I looked at all of the different places I've been down through the years. And I would venture to say, I took my first plane flight when I was 4. That's when our parents sent family friends to get us from our Caribbean island where I was born to bring us to the United States. So that was my first plane ride, 4 years old, swinging my little feet in the plane chair, excited, looking around like a 4-year-old. And as far as I remember, enjoying every minute of it. And, you know, as I've traveled down through the years, I try to get something from where I've been, some magnet or something. And so, yes, that's why my fridge is covered. And I'm so thankful that I've had the opportunity to do the traveling that I did. But I kept looking forward thinking, wow, when I'm able to do this or when I'm able to do that. And then my refrigerator tells me that you've done this, you've already done this and that, and you've already been here and there. You've already done a lot of the things that you think you're still to do. And I wonder sometimes if we think about that. Do we think about the fact that we are childless, not by choice, and we may look at our lives as empty sometimes, as our arms are empty, our hearts are empty, but then you get a reality check. And that's what happened when I looked at my refrigerator. I got a reality check. I know that life did not work out the way I wanted it to or the way I expected it to. I never expected for my arms to be empty or my heart to have an emptiness. Although I'm surrounded by people whom I love and people I know love me, yes, I'm not going to tell you that that covers everything. There is an emptiness, and I don't know if it will ever go away, but I know that you can't there's a saying, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. When I look at my refrigerator and see all of the places that I've been, I think, I'm blessed. I really am blessed. Especially with this very last trip that I went on, I told you before, it was all expenses paid. I'm not kidding. It was all expenses paid. And, when we stop to just be thankful for what we do have, when we stop to look at our refrigerator magnet, and even if you don't keep things on your refrigerator, wherever it is that you keep things, I keep a little album of the tickets and the ticket stubs and things that I had to use on my different trips. I keep an album of those things. And museum trips, whenever I go somewhere, I keep the stub of what I had to pay to get in. And, whether it's that, maybe it's your little scrapbook that you look at, maybe it's your refrigerator that you look at, or picture albums. I know some of you still have picture albums. Admit it. I do. I love pictures and photographs. I love to see how people look back in the day, how they look now, how their families have progressed. I just love to look at those things. It just tells me history. And many of you know that I love anything having to do with history. I just love history. And so I love to see the history of people. It doesn't have to be anybody famous. It could be the next door neighbor. It could be the person down the street. It could be anyone. I love to hear about a person's history because that makes up who they are. And we are three-dimensional. We are all three-dimensional. Every person on this planet has a story. Everybody's been somewhere, or done something. They want to do something. They want to go somewhere. But I would ask you to stop and look at your refrigerator and think about the places you've already been. And that will give you pause. It gave me pause to be thankful, to take a minute and just be thankful that, I'm still here. I didn't lose my mind. I didn't give in to how I felt during those times of loss when I just couldn't believe I would never be able to have children. I didn't give in. I'm still here. And I still get to do things, maybe not the way I thought I would or wanted to. I don't get to travel maybe the way I thought I would with an entourage of little people following behind me, driving me nuts, you know. But I still get to travel. I still have a refrigerator full of magnets of places I've been, and I'm thankful for that. And I just wanted to stop by and ask you to look at your refrigerator, look at your scrapbook, take a second, stop thinking about the childlessness for a moment and think about what you have, where you've been. And in many cases, you have more than some of the people who are probably making fun of you or throwing the fact in your face that you don't have any children. People like that, they're bitter. They don't realize what they have. I'm asking you to take a moment and realize what you have. Think about what you have. And I know that that's what we're going to have to do every once in a while. We're going to have to reflect on what we have been given, and stop thinking about what we don't have. And I'd venture to say that that will, put things into perspective. I know it will for me, and I hope it will for you. Just kind of let things fall into perspective and just live the best life that you can with what you have, what you've been given, where you've been. Enjoy your experiences and just know that, you know, it could have been worse. I could have given in to all of this. I could have given in to the sadness, and then I wouldn't be here. One of the places that I went to on my trip in Switzerland, we went to a couple of mountains. We went to the Alps on one day, the Bernese Oberland Mountains, if for anybody that's familiar with Switzerland or listening from Switzerland. And we went up to the mountain where the 1968 James Bond film was filmed, and that was an experience of a lifetime. We had dinner up there, and we didn't get to see much because of the cloud cover, but the fact that I was there, it's amazing. And then we went to a glacier, Mount Titlis Glacier. That was the first place that we went to, actually. And imagine going up so high into the mountains, 10,000 feet, that you're like up by a glacier. Can you imagine being up? I'm telling you, months before this, I didn't have any idea I would be on a glacier. Okay? I just didn't know. A glacier was not on my mind. And you can go in there, explore the glacier, or go inside the mountain and have coffee or hot chocolate. I had hot chocolate, I think. And on one of those mountains, I had hot chocolate. And it was just amazing to think that I'm standing 10,000 feet up in the air, lightheaded, wondering what's going on because I'd never been up that high before, other than, outside of an airplane. And you don't get lightheaded in an airplane. I've never been lightheaded in an airplane, but to be going up a mountain in a tram and then just realizing that your body is like trying to adjust to the thinner air, and it was just amazing. It was amazing. And I look back on it now and I'm thinking I never had that in mind. And I'm thankful for the experiences of my week in Switzerland. And I'm thankful for the fact that I get to travel to the places I've been in the past. I've been to London and to Paris and all the different places I've been to over the years, and places here in Florida. Let me plug Florida. We could stay here in Florida and never leave and still go on vacation. That's what a huge and beautiful state this is. And so the opportunities that I've had to go to different places here in Florida, I'm thankful. I'm thankful for the fact that my refrigerator is filled with magnets. It's filled. And I'm trying to work on the sides now. And that's filling up too. So I just want to remind you that regardless of your situation right now, be thankful for where you are, what you have. If you're in a situation where you may be in fear, I'm praying for you that you don't have to continue living that way, that things will change. And I would ask you to pray for your situation as well, because I know that many women are living in precarious situations around the world simply because they're women, simply because they could not have any children, and simply because they're in circumstances outside of their control, maybe in places where there's war going on, and you just have no control over what's going on around you. Just know that I am praying for you. I'm keeping you in prayer continually. As in my previous episode, I talked about praying for the children who have no one to pray for them. I'm praying for them as well. And in fact, even though you may be in a precarious situation, I would ask you to pray for the children who have no one to pray for them. And those children exist all around the world. And I saw a very sad. I couldn't even listen to the video. I saw what the title was. I looked at the video, but I couldn't listen to what they were saying. It was a news story about right here in America, in the United States of America, a 5-year-old. Her father left her at a college campus somewhere, and I guess he must have told her he'd be back, and he never came back. He abandoned his baby right there at a college campus, and I guess they found him. They found the baby, and I don't know what the outcome is going to be. I couldn't deal with it. I just, I'm going to have to go back and listen to the story and look at it, because I signed up for this platform, so I'm going to have to deal with everything that comes with it, the good, the bad, and the ugly. But just to know that it got to that point for him where the best he could think of to do was to abandon his baby at a college campus, a 5-year-old little girl. That was the best he could do. I mean, he couldn't leave the child at a shelter or at a fire station. He didn't think to do that. He thought the best thing to do was to leave her at a college campus somewhere. When people get to that extreme, we know that there are things going on with them and they're not thinking straight, but it's tough for those of us who are childless not by choice to watch nevertheless. So I still believe that as childless not by choice women and men, we have a part to play in our society, wherever we are in the world. We have a part to play. And we just have to figure out what it is. Everybody's going to have a different part, a different role to play. And I'm asking you, I'm begging you to figure out what your role is. What is it that you can do in your corner of the world to make things a little bit better, less stressful for the person who thinks that abandoning their 5-year-old is the best option? What can you do? Yes, we can pray. We can keep these people in our minds and consider them. But is there anything else that you can do without interfering? Because a lot of times people think that we are quote unquote interfering because we don't have any children of our own. And I never want to put anyone or ask anyone to be in a situation where they are scorned or dismissed or mistreated just because they're simply, trying to help. So, of course, think about what you're doing. Think about it before doing it, and speak to people. And speak to people in places of authority, in different places, in your area that may deal with these types of situations, and see if you can volunteer or see if they have any job openings. Just see what you can do while you're here on this planet. And in the meantime, again, be thankful for what you have. Be thankful for where you've been. Be thankful for your refrigerator. And just know that all is well. All will be well. And for those who feel like they are not in a place where they can do anything right now, know that there are others thinking about you and praying for you, and praying that your situation changes soon, quickly, as soon as possible. So that was my little thought, my thoughts actually, on the refrigerator magnets. And now you know why I'm calling this episode Refrigerator Magnets. Well, I really hope to hear from you. I've heard from some people, and I thank you for reaching out to me. When I get messages and articles and all of that from listeners, it lets me know that somebody is on the other side of this recording, and somebody is listening, and somebody is gaining something, some knowledge and some help and some assistance from hearing these episodes. And so I just want to thank those of you who have reached out to me. Elaine, so you're just awesome. Thank you so much. Elaine from Australia has been in touch, and I just really appreciate that, Elaine, and the articles that you send me to check out, all about childless, not by choice issues. You're awesome. Thank you so much. And, you know, anyone else who wants to reach out to me, feel free. You can direct message me on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. There, we have a special Instagram page just for us called Joy and Relevance, and it's anyone can join, but it's the content is specifically about the childless, not by choice issues and situations, pictures, posts, reminders, encouragement, and then my regular Instagram page is just at Sevilla1. And so I post all kinds of things on there. There's pictures of me on there with my family. There are pictures of scriptures from the Bible. So just different things. And if you want to email me, feel free to email me. I generally respond to any message or email within 24 hours. So if you want to email me at sevilla@sevillamorgan.com. That's sevilla@sevillamorgan.com. And of course, all of this information is going to be in the show notes. Remember to look at the notes below the episode when you're listening to the episode, because everything that has to do with that episode is in the notes in written form, and that includes my contact information. So Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, email, and all of that good stuff. Multiple ways to get a hold of me. And of course, the websites, SevillaMorgan.com or childlessnotbychoice.net. And, many of you know that I have groups on Facebook if you want to join. So I'm creating this whole network, this whole platform, a place of safety. I keep my eye on it. I keep aware of everything. I respond within 24 hours. I mean business with 21st Century Hannah. And I know most of you know that, but just a reminder, I just want you to know that this platform exists, and I want you to help me let others know that this platform exists. So thanks so much for listening, and just let me know if there's anything that you specifically would like me to talk about or discuss. I'd be happy to review it and check it out. You guys can tell by listening to me in my previous episodes and this episode, I'm a pretty open person, and I'm willing to listen because I know everybody has a story. So don't be afraid to reach out to me. I'm just that person on the other side of this microphone, wishing you well, keeping you in prayer, hoping the best for you. And I want to build this platform. I want to build a following, and eventually one day have a convention just for us. So hang in there in the meantime. Do the best you can with what you have. Be thankful for what you have. Be thankful for your refrigerator. Have a great one. Bye.